Yo, 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 welcome to another edition of the Geeky Bros Podcast. I'm your boy Tactix.
And this is Big Geek Kumar. How you doing today, bro?
I'm doing well. I'm doing real well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well too. Like it's been a slow Friday for me, but like slow is not that bad. How about yourself?
Well, I had class on campus earlier today. It was class.
It was class.
So yeah. But other than that, yeah, it was good. It was all right.
As you all are able to see, we're missing one of our brothers in action. He is currently doing some. I think he's doing some work and also doing some doing a trip with his lady. So like, we missed you, Darce, but we're going to continue on with the show. And just a little piece of housekeeping for those of you who are new to the channel or to our live viewings. We are the Geeky Bros, and we are going to be posting after our live event the timestamps in the description. If you're looking for a particular topic that you want to listen to, just go down the description and click the timestamp, and it'll take you right there.
Don't skip. Just watch the whole thing. Just watch the whole thing.
Or watch the whole thing. But
Don't be that person,
like and
bro.
subscribe.
Yes.
Also like and subscribe if you enjoy our content.
And share it with your friends.
And also
that came off aggressive, didn't it? That was a little aggressive.
I was just gonna be like, please share with your friends. But like, also, yeah, just like let them know that you like listen to the Geeky Bros podcast. But yeah, so okay, now that the housekeeping is taken care of, let's jump right in to our topic. So what do you say, T?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
All right. So for the first piece of
hold
news,
on. I'm not ready yet. Hold on. Okay, now I'm good. Go for it.
You sure?
Yeah. I'm straight.
You all ready?
Okay, yeah. I'm good. I'm good.
Ooh, you do sound better now.
I know, right? The ambiance, bro. You hear that shit? I like it.
All right. So our first piece of news has come in the form of a trailer that has been released as of yesterday. It is the Black Mirror trailer for season 6. Yes. So as per usual, I think the last So as people have heard on this channel before, I'll just repeat it. I am not a huge fan of Black Mirror. I have maybe watched 4 episodes, all of which that Tactix has described for me to watch, and also out of order because apparently like this is just an anthology series. Nonetheless, I did watch this trailer. I will say that I still have no real interest in watching this season because frankly, like these are just individual stories. I'll probably enjoy watching kind of like I did that one time when it was you, me, and our boy Matt just like watching.
Yeah, we don't need to bring that one up. We don't have to bring that up.
That we didn't realize just how awkward that viewing would get. What was that, season 4?
No, I think that's season 5. That was like the latest.
The last season?
The last season, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So for those of you who have watched season 5 of Black Mirror, let's just say that us bros got together and watched the whole season. And you know which episode. Well, let's just say if you know, you know.
Yeah. No judgment. I mean,
no judgment, but like a bunch of friends getting together.
Yeah, it's just not an episode that you'd want to like gather around with your boys and watch. You know,
yeah,
it makes things a little bit awkward. You know, it's maybe
questions come up.
Yeah, you know, like a lot of questions.
Questions that don't need answering, really.
No. Yeah. Very, very
but
uncomfortable experience.
Yeah. I do recall all three of us.
I'm secure with my masculinity, but even me, I was just like, yo, this is.
I am too. I just like, I do recall it was a very quiet viewing and like just no follow up afterwards.
Yeah,
but nonetheless, yeah. So season 6 is coming out. The only reason I would watch season 6 if it is in the same situation. If like I don't know, for Bros Night, like we all decided to do like an entire season watching again, I'll do it then. Aside from that, I did like the fact that there are a lot of new actors in there. Like there's Selma Hayek in there. and like she kind of caught me off guard a little bit. They also got my man from Breaking Bad. Oh my god, I'm blanking on his name right now.
Salma
Damn.
Hayek.
Anyway, but they also had Kate Mara in there, and Eddie Murphy from Schitt's Creek. So like,
I thought you said Eddie Murphy. I was like, what? I didn't see Eddie Murphy in there.
Dude, they would have put him front and center.
Yeah. I was like, what are you talking about?
No. Sorry. Now I forgot her name. Annie Murphy. But yeah. And also
Eddie Murphy. I don't know why.
Annie Murphy.
Annie?
Yes. Annie.
I got you now.
And who's the woman from Atlanta who also played Domino?
Oh, Zazie Beetz.
Zazie Beetz, yeah, she's in it too. So like, it's got a stacked deck of cast members. So I don't know. I'll watch it for Bros Night, but that's like, this is not designed for me. But T, you are a hardcore fan of
100%
Black Mirror. So like, this I gotta hear, bro. What are your thoughts on the trailer for the new season?
So I've actually been waiting for this season for the longest time, to the point where I started losing hope, because every couple of months I would like Google and be like, yo, what's happening with season 6? Is there gonna be a season 6? And there was never any word about it. So I thought that season 5 was kind of like the final nail in the coffin, because it was a shorter season in comparison to the previous seasons.
Yeah, it was like 3 episodes, right?
It was like 3 or 4 episodes. So I was like, damn, man, maybe they just like they reached the pinnacle of like stories, and like they're kind of just like, okay, well, I guess this is as much as this is as far as we can take this series, and we'll end on a high note, which I was kind of sad about, because I think I read somewhere maybe a year ago or sometime during the pandemic, the creator was being interviewed, and the interviewer was asking if, what was going on with season 6, and he was like, I mean, I have some ideas here and there, but I don't really know when I'll actually end up executing it. I kind of just need a break. And it kind of sounded like he had lost the love of the series. So I started losing hope. And then I saw you guys posted in the chat season 6. I was like, no way. So I checked it out. I'll be honest, the trailer didn't really reveal much, but again, because I'm such a big fan of the show, I know what to expect at this point. And if you are a fan of the show, then you don't really need much to kind of reel you in to this kind of series. Like Umar said, it's an anthology series. Basically, you don't have to watch it in any particular order. You can just kind of jump in wherever you want, and then it like every episode is its own self-contained story, and all of the stories are for the most part pretty bleak, but they are they're very creative, and it's an anthology series based off of technology and the advancement of technology, and what would happen if technology became too advanced and we became either too dependent or overrun by technology. So I'm sure, with all the talk of AI now, as of late, that's probably going to be interwoven into some of these stories at some point. If not in this season, then hopefully in following seasons. But yeah, I'm curious. I'm interested. I'm excited to see this. It's cool that they got Salma Hayek and all the other actors and actresses on board. And that's one of the other great things about this series, is that they always have different actors coming along and playing roles and stuff, right? So we've seen in like previous seasons, we've seen like you'll see people from like the Marvel series, coming in, like the girl who plays Peggy Carter was in an episode.
Haley Atwell.
Yeah, she was in an episode. We had what's her name? Letitia Wright, who it plays what's her name? Black Panther's sister, Shuri. Yeah.
We also had
Daniel,
Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, Daniel Okoye. He was in an episode. So yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So you got a lot of familiar faces that show up, and that for them that was kind of like maybe not their starting point, but that's at least for me where I first found out about a lot of these different actors. Like I didn't know about
interesting.
Letitia Wright until I saw her episode, and her episode is crazy. Like probably the most memorable episode of Black. Well, one of the most memorable episodes of Black Mirror was her episode
All
because
right, so
it's like a story within a story within a story.
like Inception stuff.
Not so much it's not so much Inception, but it's more so like it's it like the main guy is telling us he's telling three separate stories within the episode, and they're all connected, and then there's Easter eggs that kind of relate to previous episodes or previous seasons that are kind of interwoven into the episode. So it's really trippy. It's a little bit gratuitous at times, but yeah, a lot of fun. Very interesting episode.
I'm interested. Like, what would you say is? Ooh, yeah. So it's Zazie Beats, right?
Zazie Beats, yeah. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I'm actually starting to really like her as an actress.
Oh yeah. She's been phenomenal in Atlanta, and of course she was in Deadpool 2, and she was
Yeah,
great
and
in
also
that. So
I feel like she was in something else. Oh, she was in Bullet Train.
yes, and Joker.
And Joe. Oh yeah, and
Yeah,
Joker.
she was the love interest. Yeah,
Or like
yeah,
more like the stalking victim.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but so what would be your favorite episode of Black Mirror? Like, what was the one that you felt like just like like just completely stood out to
Oh
you, and
man,
also the one that made you think and like love?
there's so many. Honestly, Umar, there's so many good ones. It's hard for me to narrow it down to just one. It's like Lay's potato chips. You can't just have just one. You know what I mean? Um, the one, but as you were asking me that question, the one that I guess would stand out to me, um, so I want to give two. I'm gonna cheat and give two that just
Sure,
off the
sure.
top of the head really stood out to me is there was this social media one with uh Dallas Bryce Howard. Is that her name? The
Yep,
girl,
yep.
yeah.
Bryce
Uh
Dallas Howard.
Bryce, yes. My apologies. Yeah, that one was really interesting because it's so close to home in terms of like how social media is already, but like
Hmm.
obviously the technology is a lot more advanced in that episode.
Hmm.
But it kind of highlights how in terms of social media status is everything. Status can get you a lot further in life than money can. You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
kind of reminded me of like back in my YouTube days, when I was like because I had like I started off with like nine or didn't start off, but I ended up with 19,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I found
Oh
myself at an
man.
event. Yeah, well, I mean, I'd been doing it for like 5 6 years, like religiously at that point, right? And my buddy he invited me out to this event where I was a guest speaker on a panel, and along like another person who was part of this panel was uh I forget the name of Farley Flex. He was for those who don't know or aren't familiar, and you're not from Canada. Farley Flex used to be a judge, Canadian Idol, when that was a thing a long time ago, and so I was sitting beside Farley Flex and I was having a conversation with him, and he was like, kind of like, we were just chopping it up, and he was asking me like, okay, so like, how many followers do you have? And I was like, oh, I got 19,000. And he goes to me, he's like, oh, and he kind of scoffs, and he looks at me like with disgust and disdain, and he's like, oh, you know, your boy kind of bigged you up and made it seem like you had a lot more than that. He was saying something about like 100,000 or whatever. I'm like, no, I have 100,000 views on YouTube. And he's like per video or collectively? And I'm like, collectively. And he's like, oh, and then he kind of just like turned away. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's
Wow.
yeah, so it's like that. Um So yeah,
No,
that
he'd make fun of us on the show a lot then.
yeah, 100%. So it kind of just my point I'm trying to make is it kind of just highlighted how important status is to people nowadays in terms of like the value, the perceived value, but realistically that shit don't mean nothing. But
Yeah.
that was it, like the thing, it just kind of, that episode highlights the lengths that people will go to achieve that status because of how it's perceived, right? You can look at someone who has like 10,000 followers on Instagram and automatically you think they're of importance, and then they're of value, but that's not always the case. It's just
Big deal, yeah.
it's how it's perceived. And then my honorable mention, I would say, is I think it was in the first season, with it was the one where you get this implant put into the back of your skull that connects to your occipital lobe, which is the part of the brain that's responsible for your sight. And basically, then you have this implant in your eyes
and you go through your memories.
And you can go through your memories and relive
I
and
saw that
actually
one.
see those. So that one was really interesting because there was like a surprise twist at the end, and I was like, I didn't see that coming at all. And I was like, damn, that shit is crazy. So yeah, I'd say those were
Aaron
my
Paul.
standout ones. Yeah.
Right, that's his name, Aaron Paul. Thank
Yeah.
you. The image really helped.
Yeah. The worst one, I will say the worst episode, and if anyone who hasn't seen Black Mirror and is gonna attempt to watch it, do not, for the love of all that is holy, watch the first episode of the first season first, because if you watch that episode first, it's gonna turn you off from the entire series, and you're not gonna want to watch anything else. I luckily was warned and didn't make that mistake, but then I went back and I watched that episode, and I'm like, yeah, if I had seen this one first, I definitely would not have continued with this series.
Why?
So it's the one where it's the senator and he gets blackmailed, and the guy, I don't know if you ever watched it, but anyway, he's getting blackmailed, and he's about to, his daughter gets kidnapped, and the guy who's blackmailing the senator basically tells him, he's like, I'll release your daughter under one condition. You have to go live publicly and fuck a pig.
Right.
And I mean, I feel like I don't have to say much else after that. So yeah, I'd probably just avoid that episode altogether. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. The dude he fucks a pig. So yeah, you could pass on the first episode of the first season if you haven't watched any of Black Mirror yet. But everything else is great.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I guess, yeah, there she is. I love her from Schitt's Creek. I'm really glad to see her backing out. I may end up just like hopefully the season will get good reviews, and like we'll do it for a bros night. But
yeah, I'm hoping so too.
Yeah. So moving on. So what we're going to be jumping into next for our geeky news segment is we're going to be doing some coverage of CinemaCon 2023. So CinemaCon has been this entire week, and it has been basically showcasing from Paramount Pictures to like a Marvel, and to like basically all the Hollywood, the big the big studios are releasing their slate and like providing hype for people to go to the movies essentially. And I can see why they're making such a huge spectacle and like putting a lot of things out there right now for CinemaCon, is to counter the writer strike that's like about to happen or is happening. I'm not sure if it's already started. Anyway.
Oh shit, there's a writer strike?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm so out of the loop with this shit.
Well, you got to focus on your studies. You got exams coming up.
Yeah, as long as there's no writer strike at my school, I'm good. Like, not even that happening. I don't want any strikes to fuck up my graduation, bro. I got 2 months left.
Yes, please no writer strikes. Knock on wood. Yeah. Anyway, so a lot of news has been coming out the last few days over from CinemaCon, and specifically there have been viewings at CinemaCon. So we're going to be discussing The Flash, the new trailer that dropped a couple of days ago, and also the early reactions to the film that was screened for the people who were able to attend CinemaCon. And also the same thing with the Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So first we're going to be talking about the Flash trailer. They released the new Flash, the second full-length Flash trailer that's, I mean, y'all saw, like, for those of you who saw our last coverage of the first trailer, y'all saw that we were, like, all the bros were happy. We were very happy with the last trailer. Now, I said I was going to stop right there. However, I didn't. I was like, you know what? I mean, it was a teaser. They probably showed me all the cool stuff. I'm going to be fine. I watched this trailer, and it happened again. So all three trailers, the first trailer that I saw years ago in the basement with Tactix, just after we're done doing a workout, the trailer that came out like a month ago, and now this trailer. This movie looks dope. Or I would say these trailers make this movie look dope. I will say, and it's not cool because this trailer gave a little bit more to the plot. And the plot looks good. I'm just like, the plot looks good. So, like, I'm going to be one of those guys. I'm going to be one of those guys who's going to be like, yo, I don't appreciate and approve of anything that Ezra Miller does or says or has acted or behaved. But I want to watch this movie. And it's not because of him. I could give two shits about Ezra Miller. It's about Michael Keaton. And the trailer's giving me Michael Keaton. Like, yeah, fuck them. Don't care. Upset that they're forerunning this movie. I'm in it for Michael Keaton. And I'm in it for Michael Keaton. Like, it's nice to see Michael Shannon show up as Zod. It's cool to see Sasha Callie, let's say Callie, as Supergirl. Like, that girl almost like lost her big break. I'm just going to see Michael Keaton. I just want to see Michael Keaton, man. That's all I want. So, like, yeah, I'm not sure how much I like this shot.
Really?
It looks too CG. It looks too CG for me.
I mean, we got to see it in its like full form to really.
Yeah, like this is unfinished. This is like an unfinished image from a screenshot. So, like, I hear you on that. But
and like keep in mind too, like we haven't seen this iteration of Michael Keaton move like this. Like back in the 80s and the 90s, like Michael Keaton was stiff as fuck because of the suit's limitations, right? But now we're gonna get to see him in really good action scenes that I can only assume are going to be top notch for its time because of the advancement of technology. So that I'm in a full agreement with you, like in terms of seeing Michael Keaton. Yes, I want to see him come back and don the suit, but I also want to see him like really just dropping fools because we got a watered down version, which we appreciated, in '89 and in when I think '92 was when Batman Returns came out.
I want to say so. Yes.
Yeah. So, to see him in action, like the little bit that we've seen already, I'm stoked. I'm super excited for it. So yeah, I'm locked in. I'm all in. I'm not in it for Ezra. I could care less. Yeah, I'm in it for the Batman.
And like, also, as weird as to say, like, as people know, I haven't been the hugest fan of Ben Affleck's Batman. However, it is nice to see him to kind of like give like one last hurrah for the role that has apparently caused him a great deal of sadness. I mean, let's be honest, we like DC fans, or I'd say really comic book fans, aren't exactly the most calmest when it comes to reactions about things. So I get it. He's had some bad experiences. I'm not his biggest fan, but it was still nice to see him up there. I'm, I just, I just, I just want to see Batman 1989, and I want to hear the Danny Elfman soundtrack, and like I want Ezra to be out of the picture. Like, to be honest, given what Warner Brothers has said, they're like, we're happy for their recovery. We're happy that they're getting the help they need. And like, once they're done their recovery, we're gonna have a conversation about like, what the future is gonna hold.
Mm.
That sounds to me like, once this movie's out, you done.
As it should be.
I agree, as it definitely should be. I mean, if Jonathan Majors is getting as much flack as he's getting, and currently nothing has truly been shown against him, like there's some really bad signs. There's some really bad signs. And there's some increasingly bad allegations gearing up. But again, still kind of like unsure. Ezra Miller is as clear as day all the problems they have committed.
Mm-hmm.
They should have been out a while ago. But that trailer, though.
It looks fire. I'm not gonna lie, man. Like
that trailer, though.
I'm super excited for it. I can't even lie.
Yeah. Like
there's a lot of good things. A lot of good things coming in June, man.
Oh man, June is gonna be stacked. So now that we've talked about the trailer, we might as well move on to the actual early reactions. So we have been hearing for some time now that The Flash is kind of like the big movie for DC, for Warner Brothers. And that is why they were very much against axing it. That was very much why they have like done everything and anything to keep Ezra Miller like around. And we've all talked about like, what, there's some bullshit. And then we started to hear that this is going to be the movie of Warner Brothers. This is going to be like The Dark Knight. Like, this will redefine what superhero movies are going to be all about.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start seeing the trailers. And as you've seen from Tactix and I's response, okay, it has some credibility. But now the early reviews have happened because at CinemaCon they filmed, they showcased it. I still think there's some stuff that's going to be like kind of fixed up after the viewing, but nonetheless, like, let's just say 99% of the film is ready. So the early reactions have been pretty much entirely, in fact, I think I haven't heard a single bad thing about it. It has been entirely positive. Now, the degree of the positivity obviously is like, it ranges, but no one has said this is a bad film.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I like what John Campea said. Like, some people are like, this is the greatest comic book movie of all time. Others are like, dude, this is going to rival Endgame. Others are going to be like, MCU doesn't have anything like this. And then I liked what John Campea had said on his podcast. It was that, like, this is not going to be the greatest movie of all time, a comic book movie of all time, but damn, it is great. Like, this is going to be a movie you're going to enjoy watching. And I was like, well then.
So what is the greatest comic book movie of all time? Is it still, does Dark Knight still hold that title?
I don't think there is one anymore. I think for a long time it was The Dark Knight. However, with the MCU and with Avengers Infinity War and also with Endgame and also Winter Soldier and Civil War and also with I feel I'm missing one from like a DC. It's definitely not Wonder Woman.
I think that's it, bro. There hasn't been many heavy hitters when it comes to DC. Dark Knight is really it.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like Dark Knight and also like a bunch of the best of the MCU.
Mhm.
That's kind of been like the main. Oh, Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 was the other one.
Oh,
Tobey
okay, yeah.
Maguire, Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a pretty
So
solid one.
yeah, and then also No Way Home, but that was more nostalgia factor. Which, to be fair, this movie sounds like it's definitely this movie's basically weaponizing nostalgia against us. Like I have to see this because of Michael Keaton and Danny Elfman soundtrack.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue because like you have to figure out what the stipulation is. Like, because does Endgame get a pass because of how epic it was, or is it? Do you have to disqualify it because it basically is it like without all its predecessors, there would be no Endgame to begin with. So,
Yeah,
like, do you still include it in the conversation, or are we basing it off of like but then again, you can't even really. I mean, with Dark Knight, I mean,
you need Batman Begins.
well, yeah, I guess in a actually, do you kind? I mean, you could
Definitely need to know. You definitely need to know the relationship between Rachel and Bruce.
fair, but aside from that, is there really anything else connecting it? Because I feel like we got a new suit. But like
But
I felt like everything just kind of started like
you do
we
need
got
to know
even a
like
new Rachel.
you you get a new Rachel. But the thing is, like a lot of the relationships, like Lucius Fox and Bruce Wayne, doesn't make sense unless you have Batman
Yeah,
Begins.
yeah, okay, yeah, fair,
Also, the same thing with
fair.
Gordon and Batman. But you can kind of put that together without it. But like, yeah, I would say like Rachel and a little bit Gordon, definitely Lucius Fox. Those things are kind of really important. Uh,
Yeah, but I do agree with you in the sense that I feel like you could probably, for the most part, figure out what was
yeah.
going on if you just jumped right into the Dark Knight, and I think you'd still get a lot of enjoyment out of it.
Oh,
Um,
100%. It's a
I mean,
very good self-contained film.
yeah, I mean don't get me wrong, the end reveal at the end of Batman Begins is kind of like chef's kiss because you're just like, oh, like I wasn't even expecting that. I was like, when I saw that, I was like, no way, because it was like it's been so long since we had a Batman film at that point, right? So to see the Joker card was like, yeah, that was fucking phenomenal. But um in regards to like movies like Endgame, you need so much buildup just to know. Like, no one could just jump into Endgame and be like you probably still enjoy it, but if you get
You
like,
got
you're like, wait, who's this purple motherfucker? Why is he like, why is he so angry? Like,
it's
he
like,
just needs a hug.
I can just see people like, why did they attack this purple dude who was just living by himself on the
Yeah,
field?
yeah. Like,
Uh,
yeah, people would be
I
hella
would say, like,
lost.
with Endgame, at the very least, you need Infinity War.
Yeah, I would say so.
But
Yeah.
okay, but still, like, just because a superhero film relies on other things doesn't mean that it's not the best.
Doesn't mean that it's not the best.
Yeah, because like Endgame, well, yeah, I would say the Endgame was not the perfect film. It was the greatest cinema experience I've ever had, but that's because I was like in a room with like 200 other people screaming my head off when
Oh
Cap picked
yeah,
up Mjolnir.
yeah, 100%. There's so many Easter eggs in that.
Yeah, I would say like I still think oh no, Endgame gave me so many chills. Oh yeah, I don't know.
Would you rank it as the best? As the best? I feel like Infinity War and Endgame have to kind of go together, and then it can be in the conversation. I don't think
Yeah,
Endgame on its own could just be like, oh, Endgame is the best like superhero movie, because without, it's like you said, without Infinity War, like a person couldn't just jump in and be like and know what was going on and still have that same level of enjoyment unless they're true hardcore fans.
I would still say if we're looking at independence, Endgame's an event. It's like watching Super Bowl. So like, uh, Civil War is pretty good, but like even that, I would say honestly, like I still think Winter Soldier is still probably one of the best superhero films.
I'll give you that. I think Winter Soldier was really solid. And it was it was grounded. And
Yeah.
so people who aren't really into the over the top fantastical type of superhero, like with like Thor and all that other shit, like if you just want like a really like almost like a Jason Bourne type of film, but like times two. Like I feel like Winter Soldier would give you that, and anybody could enjoy that. Whereas I feel like
I would also say I would say Infinity War by itself is still a really solid film. Because they
yeah,
do enough to introduce everyone, even though it's a bit rushed and like
mhm,
shoved in there, but they still do a pretty good job.
agreed. But then to end, like, I mean, you can't just end the movie there.
You can
Like
though, because
everybody, everybody dies though, bro. Like
hold up, but like look at Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. For me, Star Wars Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars film, and that ended with like, yo, they fucking cut off his hand and like shipped Han Solo off to Jabba the Hutt.
oh, is that what happened at the end? It's been so long since I've seen that movie. So it
He was
ends
like,
like that?
yeah, it's like, yo, Darth Vader is Luke's father. He also cut off his son's hand,
Yeah, I
and
remember
then
that.
also like they shipped off Han Solo in like carbonite.
Oh shit. I didn't know that. Why don't I remember that?
Trauma.
Okay, fair. Fair. That's fair.
So
And
I will say that Winter Soldier and then Infinity War and then no, I would say okay, Winter Soldier. No, I would say okay, Dark Knight, Winter Soldier, Infinity War.
Dark Knight, Winter Soldier. And okay, I like that list.
How about
I
you?
like that list. I feel like that's a fair list, but I still want to add Endgame in there just to complete the whole just to complete it, because I feel like it like Infinity War is like part 1 of 2. You know what I mean?
It is,
Well,
but
yeah,
like for me,
technically, yeah.
yeah, I'm just gonna say like I won't keep end because the end game is different. End game is like a culmination. It's basically like the series finale versus like the individual episodes.
Yeah, it's just I feel like that would hurt. Guy, I think I saw Infinity War with you, and I just remember how somber that car ride home was, bro. Like I
We
was
were.
like I was
I remember
devastated, bro. I
for
was
like
like,
5 minutes after the film, you just kept saying, "Yo, what had just happened?" I was
yeah,
like,
I was like, yo, yeah, they can't end like that. Wait, no, there's an after credit scene, right? Like they can't just end it like that. Yo, man, that that hurt my soul, man. I was yeah, yeah, yeah. That built
so
up so much hype.
yeah. So if you agree with my list, then the fact that this film, The Flash, is now
Mhm.
being propositioned to be able to enter that list.
You know why I like that? Because I feel like well, I think this is across the board for everyone. DC needs a win. At the end of the day, we want both Marvel and DC
Yeah.
to win. But it honestly seems like Marvel has kind of lost their mojo. Like but I don't even want to say that because they've had a good run. They've had a really good run, and maybe they just need like even like I can forgive the lackluster movies with the exception of Thor, Love and Thunder. I don't know what they were smoking when they made that shit, but anyway, I can
I knew that was
forgive
coming.
Ant-Man. If Guardians of the Galaxy isn't great, I can forgive them for that. Cuz they gave me what was it? 10 years of really solid movies, and we didn't deserve that, but we got it. We got it. So I'm like, yo, man, you blessed you blessed my adulthood by bringing back my childhood. You know what I mean? Like, and I never thought I would be alive to see the day where I would see all of this shit on screen, and I feel I feel privileged. I feel blessed to have seen that, to have witnessed that,
Stay
and
blessed.
yeah, and now it's DC's turn because I grew up DC. I grew up a DC guy.
100%.
I
I
think
even grew up DC in terms of animated movies and also comics.
yeah, I think the first DC comic book that I actually owned was a Superman comic book. Um, so I was like,
Burr?
yeah, like I don't even remember how I got it. It just I think I was at like a garage sale or something like that, and some guy sold it to me or something like that. But
How dare you?
um, yeah, but yeah, Batman was my shit growing up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was the first superhero movie I ever saw, and so I've been a DC guy for my entire life, pretty much. So, not to say that I dislike Marvel. I like them both, but I feel like DC is they've had a rough start, and I
Yeah.
hope that this is now a segue into them kind of picking up traction and really taking off with their success. And it seems like with James Gunn under the helm now, like that is a much more likely possibility, which I'm excited for, because although I'm hearing stuff that's on the slate right now in terms of like Batman and Robin and like all the other stuff, I'm like, okay, like I'll I'm gonna wait and reserve judgment until I kind of see a trailer and see what James Gunn has to offer in terms of his vision for DC. But yeah, I want more of DC properties to win and come out on top. I even want the Guardians of the Galaxy treatment in the sense of bring me obscure characters that we're not familiar with and make us like them, make us love them, like you did with Guardians of the Galaxy, like you did with Iron Man. No one really knew who the fuck Iron Man was outside of
People
the comic
barely
book
knew who the
movies.
Avengers were.
Yeah, like I knew of Iron Man just because he had shown up in the Spider-Man animated show, but outside of that I didn't really. No, I wasn't checking for Iron Man. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see an Iron Man live action. No one was saying that. So, and now look, Iron Man is like he was top dog for the entire 10 years. So, yeah, like I want that treatment with DC now. Like,
So, just to kind of like reveal some of the things that were saying by the people who were early reviewers.
mhm.
This is from someone like at Chris Hayner. I don't know what they say. I don't know what to say other than The Flash delivered more than I could have hoped. The acting is beyond great. Keaton delivers everything you want. Supergirl is my new favorite superhero. I genuinely shocked. I'm genuinely shocked this movie meets and surpasses the hype. I never expected that. And then this comes from nope. Okay, so then it's like at Eric Davis says DC's The Flash is tremendous. Forget DC, it is without a doubt among the best superhero films ever made. An all-timer, inventive storytelling, fantastic action sequences, great cast, so many nerdy details. I'm in tears at the end. Everything you want from a superhero film and more.
Hmm.
Uh, oh, interesting. So then it's like at El Mayimbe. I'm not sure how to say that, but believe the hype. Christopher Nolan movies aside, The Flash is the greatest DC movie of the last 30 years that belongs in the same conversation as Superman 78 and Batman 89. The movie breaks incredible new ground in superhero cinema and honors DC lore for years past. And then finally, The Flash is pretty great. This is from at Jenna Bush. The Flash is pretty great, and it makes sense to me now why DC didn't shelve this one. Michael Keaton is chef's kiss. I didn't realize how much I needed Keaton's Batman in my life again. Some really emotional moments here. Sasha Cally, it is Sasha Cally, is awesome. I want to see more of her. So no one's talking about Ezra Miller, and everyone
Yeah,
is
of course.
talking about, as they should, Michael Keaton and Sasha Cally. So that makes me happy. And it's just like you were saying, T. Like there's finally a DC contender. That's not that's not like the Dark Knight.
So what I heard too, and I hate to give credit to Ezra if this is true, but I'm a man who is impartial, and I will always give credit where credit is due, regardless. This movie they've been trying to develop this movie for years. Like, what is it? Like 7 years they've been trying to make this. And I've heard, and I don't know how truthful this is, but I heard that Ezra was a big part of why there was so many delays, because he was very adamant about getting the right story for the movie. And then obviously they went through different directors, because like, I kept hearing that the Ezra and the directors kept on contending against like what direction they wanted to go into, and then they finally locked down a director as well as a solid storyline. So if that is at all true, then despite all the bullshit that he's kind of been subjected to, or not subjected to, that he has been causing, I'll give him credit. Like if he was that passionate about the script, then we at least owe him that, if this movie ends up being solid. But aside from that, that's the only credit I can really give, because he almost tanked the entire production because of his antics. So yeah.
I'm just happy to see that. Because like those were just a few of the reviews I saw. I'm just glad to hear that Sasha Calle is like getting recognition. Like people are saying they actually really like Supergirl, and that nearly got tanked due to Ezra Miller. I am glad that Michael Keaton is also doing his comeback. I mean, when he said, "You want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts."
We'll get nuts.
But the line is, "You want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts." But just a small nitpick. But I've seen that movie way too many times. I'm like, hey, wait, you didn't say it right, bro. You didn't say it right. What's going on?
The inflections were off.
Yeah, where was that energy, bro? Where was that Joker energy, man? That's what I needed. But it's okay. Beggars can't be choosers, right? But
okay,
what I am hoping though is if like obviously Michael Keaton is getting a lot of praise, so you know what I want, and it's a Batman Beyond live action in any kind of fashion, whether it's a TV series or whether it's a movie. I don't care, but I want Old Man Bruce to be played by Michael Keaton.
Absolutely. I agree with you. If this movie does as well as it does, and people know that people love seeing Keaton, and that will bring new people, that'll bring people back to the cinemas. Get a good writer. Get John Frasset's Daily for all I care, and because he apparently helped write this movie. Get him to write Batman Beyond with Michael Keaton as Batman, Old Man Bruce.
I want to pitch another thing to you.
Ooh.
I don't think they'll ever do this. And if they are ever going to do a Batman Beyond movie, they definitely will probably approach Michael Keaton first. But let's just say that they don't, and they decide to go in a different direction.
I'll never forgive them.
Neither will I. But I would be willing to accept, and I want to know if you would too. I know. And again, I don't think this is going to happen, but if they got Christian Bale to come back as Old Man Bruce with but it would have to be with Christopher Nolan directing, because Bale said that was the only way that he would return as Batman. That's the only other kind of alteration to the Batman lore that I would accept, because I did like Bale's Batman. He's not my Batman.
I don't think that would work.
You don't think it would work?
No. Bale would be fine as old.
Not for that universe. I'm not saying that it would be a continuation of his universe per se.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I don't think it'll work for a few reasons. Like I
Mhm.
liked Bale too,
Mhm.
but Nolan is inherently someone who grounds his stuff. When he starts pushing outside that, it starts to get really obvious that he's out of his comfort zone. Like for example, I mean, Inception he killed, but like that also had some level of like it makes sense that this is something, and this is all the subconscious. So like this isn't like a fantastical world. It's like no, this is your subconscious, so you can get away with imagination. But with Batman Beyond, you're going into sci-fi tech style, which I guess Interstellar does show that he has that
Yeah, because
capability.
what would a grounded Batman Beyond under the helm of Christopher Nolan look like then? Because who are the villains for Batman Beyond? You have who's it? Blight?
Blight would be the first one because like that's how they start off the series because Blight kills
Yeah.
his father.
Mhm.
And he
I
becomes Blight. So like you essentially create like a fairly stereotypical superhero villain in a superhero
Mhm.
like origin story with a Batman origin story. So like
Mhm.
I'm not saying Christopher Nolan can't do it. I don't see it as something that he would want to do. And also, The Dark Knight Rises was proof that when Nolan gets too heavy into comic book lore, he gets a little too off
Mm.
center.
Okay, so then fine. Going back to the
Because
Michael Keaton thing.
he crammed a lot of Batman references, and I was like, "Yay!" But like, if you look at it
Yeah.
objectively, I was like, it wasn't the best story.
Yeah. Okay, so going back to the Michael Keaton thing, and then I guess we got to move on because we have other topics.
Yeah,
But so the first movie, or eventually, if they do like a trilogy, they would have to do a return of the Joker in some capacity. Because the Joker in Michael Keaton's universe already died. So imagine, I'm not saying you get Jack Nicholson back, but you touch on that aspect of like, oh, Jack Nicholson died here and now he's coming back as a younger version or something of that capacity.
I don't think you need to because the whole thing about Batman Beyond is that the Joker had such an influence on crime that like they created a gang around him,
Mm-hmm.
and the gang was so offensive to him when he came back that he actually like had to either like kill or like take them over.
Mm-hmm.
But like even then, like you can do it without bringing back Jack Nicholson. You could just have the Jokers because like the main villains of Batman Beyond that were the strongest weren't the Joker, weren't any of Batman's original people. It was Spellbinder. It was Blight. It was Ink. Ink was awesome. Curari was fantastic.
Mm.
Um, and then also you had I mean
But
like
you
yeah,
gotta have
I was gonna say like
some of the OGs.
that's taking
You
away
no,
from Batman Beyond
nah,
4.
you gotta you have because even in the show they had the OGs come back.
Only in reference. Like Bane never really actually came back, for example.
No, I know, but like you do it at like I mean, obviously it wouldn't work because of the way they handled Bane in that universe.
Like Ra's al Ghul works, but like that was a dark storyline.
Mhm.
Um, like the Royal Flush Gang was pretty dope too. Like Batman
Yeah.
Beyond has some solid villains. And you like bringing in the OGs for like the new one to deal with is kind of like taking
No,
away
no,
like
no. I'm not saying as you have to
Mr.
have them at
Freeze.
least as yeah.
Mr. Free that one worked. That actually works.
Yeah, have them come back as like redemption characters.
So Freeze
But
would
you
be the
don't
perfect one.
yeah, Freeze would be perfect. Have bring back Selena Kyle because they apparently wanted to bring her back in Batman Forever, but because of the whole change, that never ended up happening. So have her come back in some capacity so she can get some not redemption because she killed that role, but
She
um
killed that role. She
yeah,
owned that role. Like no one
yeah,
has been
100%.
like even Anne Hathaway couldn't match.
No, not at all. Not at all.
She was
Sorry, it's just
fine,
not
but she did not match.
yeah. She's all right.
Okay. Moving on. we will when we watch The Flash in June, we will revisit this conversation. We get a message from Chris Tari. Fun fact: in the original plans for the 5th Batman movie, after Batman and Robin, they were going to have Harley Quinn as the Joker's daughter.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I'm glad they did not go through that because that's traumatizing.
Yeah, and Marlon Wayans was supposed to be he was supposed to be Robin in Batman Forever. And then he was literally, like, legitimately signed on to be Robin. And then when they went through the whole change, they basically bought him out, and then they brought in Chris O'Donnell because Joel Schumacher liked Chris O'Donnell better. And so, yeah,
I wonder why.
We all know why. Yeah.
Okay.
You don't like dark meat.
I would. That is interesting. I did not know that. Thank you for that, Chris. All right, so moving on to our next topic, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So we didn't get a new trailer for it, but it was screened, and it also has received, let's say, less unanimous reviews from those who were in attendance. For the most part, it has been considered positive. The main thing, let's see what mainly people are saying. Like, they say that it is an emotional film. Some say that it's a little crammed, but others say that it's very visually beautiful. They do say that it is a good send-off for the Guardians, but at the same time, people are like, fine, it's a proper ending to the story and to the Guardians story, but like, it's not exactly Marvel's best. But what I have heard for the most part is it is a return to form. So they're talking about the best Marvel films, but they are saying that this is back to average to above average. No one is saying that this is a bad film. It says that it may not be it may be too weird for other people. It may be a bit weird for some people, but no one is saying it is a bad film. It's just that it's not Marvel's best. But they are saying that it is a very emotional one.
Interesting. Very interesting. I don't know, man. I mean, you know how I feel about Marvel right now, man.
I feel you're being overly harsh on them.
Overly harsh, bro? Come on. What have they given us that, like, has you excited for what's to come?
Spider-Man No Way Home, Shang-Chi.
What phase was that in?
The last one.
Okay. Name something recent from, like, a recent phase. What'd you like in phase 4, bro?
Go ahead. I'll wait. Phase 4.
Okay, so
that was phase 4.
Oh my god!
Phase 4 was huge.
Okay, so we have
the positives of phase 4.
Wait,
No Way Home.
Hold on. Didn't I thought Wakanda Forever was the end of a phase, and we're now in a new phase 4. So which one was Thor? Was phase 4 as well?
Okay, let me like get all of these out for you so that you have them all like, so for in terms of movies,
okay.
Black Widow. So phase 4, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man, No Way Home, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness,
which
Thor: Love and Thunder,
which we both hated. Go on. I'm waiting.
I can't say his name without laughing when I'm around you, man. And then Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Okay, so that was solid.
Yeah. So we have like Black Widow. We both liked.
What about Ant-Man?
That's the start of phase 5.
Okay, so what are you excited? So yeah, this is what I mean. So it had outside
one movie, bro.
bro. Okay, because the thing is, for me, I feel like I feel like Wakanda Forever and Spider-Man were like kind of piggybacking off of the previous phase. So I don't even count it as phase 4, to be honest, if
You
I'm being
can't do
completely
that,
honest.
bro.
I'm
Hold on,
just
hold on.
saying, because it's like
That's the same as
this was
saying
your-
like your the end game is piggybacking on like everything else.
well, what phase was Endgame in?
Phase 3.
And what about Infinity War?
Phase 3.
Okay, so that's all in the same wheelhouse. That's what I'm saying. And then we have phase 4. Like, I feel like Spider-Man deserved to be in phase 3, because it was still kind of like like, I feel like now after Endgame, like we just did a reset. Like, everything is now brand new, and like everything after Endgame is now like it's like a new phase. Like, we're not like Tony's dead, the Avengers have dismantled. Now we're like starting a fresh new start.
Okay,
Like,
but hold
that's
on,
how
hold on.
I feel.
Okay, but hold up. Out of phase 4 films, and we're not even talking about the TV series right now, just the phase
Right.
4 films.
Absolutely not
So-
talking about the TV series.
Okay, we're gonna get to those. But like Black Widow, you like that one.
I liked it, but it felt so out of place because of when we got it.
Granted,
It
no,
felt like
I will give you that.
There
It
you
should have
go.
been in phase 2, but
Get
it's
it
still
the fuck out of here.
No. It's still part of phase 4, and it was a good film.
It's part of
Shang-Chi.
phase 4. Is like technically, but logistically, it's not though, because she's dead. She's been dead at that point, bro. Like, so I don't even count it. Get it the fuck out of here.
Okay, Shang-Chi.
Okay, fine. I'll give you that one.
Okay. I know you were fine with Eternals. So like, but you didn't hate Eternals.
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I was kind of just in the middle.
Okay, but that doesn't mean it's bad.
To be honest, it feels like a completely different movie, man. It doesn't even feel like it's part of Marvel. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Okay, then it's No Way Home.
Okay, that was fire. That was fire.
Okay, you like Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. I did not, but you liked it.
I liked it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So right now we have 4 films that you like from Phase 4 out of 5.
Wait, which ones are you counting? Are you counting Black Widow?
You still like Black Widow?
Yo, but no, you can't add it. Yo, it's not part. To me, it's not part of it, bro. It's not. It's just not. You can't kill a character and then be like, "Oh, by the way, she's getting a movie." Like, no.
They did it though. They did it though. Okay, so all right, fine.
How are you gonna put that movie in phase 4 when she's not? She's technically not even alive in phase 4.
So fine. If we take that out, you still like 4 films out of 4 films.
Okay.
Now this is where everything went downhill for you. The 5th film, even though it's the 6th one, the 5th film was, what do you think it was? Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh, fuck that movie.
That broke
that
you.
movie. Yep, 100%.
And then it was Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, okay, that one.
So technically speaking, I cannot believe I'm going to like negate one film, but like out of 6 films, then not 7, out of 6 films, 1 movie you hated and 1 movie you were okay with, and the rest you actually liked.
Here's my thing though. With this is what I'm saying. With Endgame, I'm even referring to it as Endgame, because with No Way Home, it felt like Endgame Part 2. Like, it felt like Infinity War, Endgame, and then No Way Home. Like, that was the trilogy. That's how I felt.
Bro.
I know it's not like that, but that's how I felt. That's why I'm so confused, because I'm like, I feel how are you going to end Spider-Man like that in the beginning of a phase? Like, that was the end of his trilogy, but the beginning of phase 4. Like, that don't make no sense.
Nonetheless, out of all of those films, you only hated one of them and were okay with another. The rest,
No, you know what this proves? That Marvel lost their way and they don't know what the fuck they're doing over there. That's what this proves.
How? Okay, now I will say this.
I told you, bro. Black Widow is dead, but yet she's alive in Phase 4 somehow. It's like, oh shit, we forgot to do something. Oh wait, what was that? No, don't worry, we'll figure it out. 10 years later. Oh yeah, the Black Widow movie. We didn't do that yet. We might as well just shoehorn that in there. You know, they won't notice.
The worst part is what absolutely goes to your point. The worst part was they did it only on streaming service. It wasn't even in theaters.
Thank you. During COVID, bro.
During
COVID. That's how little they care about Black Widow, yo.
Yeah, no, that and the fact that Sarah Scarlett Johansson has like reportedly said she will never do another MCU film kind of proves. But yeah, okay,
I don't blame her.
So those are 7. You only counted as 6, but those are 7 films. And then here is the real problem with Phase 4. It had 7 films and 8 movies. 8 TV series.
Yeah.
That's 13 properties in one phase.
I think they just need to start focusing more on the movies and less on the TV shows, because they're trying to multitask right now and it's just not working. And I think that's why
I know I loved WandaVision. You were okay with that. I know that you enjoyed Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I was okay with that. I think I liked Loki more than you did, but you still enjoyed Loki. Hawkeye and Moon Knight were kind of like meh for both of us. I freaking adored Ms. Marvel. I think you were okay with that.
It got better as it went on.
But like nonetheless, like if you actually like look at it, it's the TV series that killed it for you, not the films.
Yo, Thor was a big part of that. I'm just saying.
Yo, Thor like retroactively
blame Thor for my feelings towards Marvel and Phase 4 or whatever the fuck phase we're in right now. And
we're in Phase 5.
See, I didn't even know. Like, all I'm saying is, or what I'm saying in addition to what I was originally saying is, stop doing the shows. Just forget the shows, man. Like, just focus on the TV shows, focus on the movies.
So from what I hear, now that the CEO has been kicked out and they got a new one, unfortunately they got rid of the president, Victoria Alonso, which is sad. But like basically they're focusing on quality, not quantity. Everything has been delayed. Everything's being pushed back. They're getting more time for VFX to be done. And so now they're doing like 3 movies and 3 shows a phase.
Good. It allows them.
What I think, happened
into movies.
Exactly, and I think what happened with you is you got a lot of mediocre and stuff that you weren't vibing with in a very short amount of time from TV and movie.
Yeah.
But if you actually go back and look at it in terms of films, you predominantly loved Phase 4.
Okay, I won't go that far. I wouldn't use love. I'll say that I thoroughly liked Phase 4. I'm not gonna say I loved it. Those are some strong ass words, bro. I'm not saying I loved it. Okay, don't be putting words in my mouth. All right.
Okay. All right. But nonetheless, you got to accept the fact that Phase 4 didn't hurt you as bad as you. So therefore, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, technically speaking, it's the last thing that James Gunn did, and you a fan of James Gunn.
Yeah.
Technically speaking, these relatively positive reviews about, like, let's say like 75% positive reviews of Guardians of the Galaxy shouldn't make you discouraged.
Well, okay. What I'm concerned about is the trilogy curse, which doesn't happen all the time, but generally speaking, usually the third film it tends to be the weakest of the three. Generally speaking, this is not always the case.
Usually the second one. The
Spider-Man.
No, actually, you're right. You're right. The second
No.
ones lately have been doing pretty solid.
Yeah, man. Winter Soldier, Dark Knight, Spider-Man 2. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Terminator 2, Aliens
Terminator 2. Yep. There you go.
Okay, yeah. I'm with you now.
Yeah, it's always a third one, man. Like the first one is always like a surprise, and then the second one you're like, damn, like, and then the third one kind of like drops off.
I would say The Matrix sucked.
Yeah, okay, so that's a good example of a bad because the first one like that, like no one expected the first one to be as good as it was, and yeah, then they gave us that first one, and then the second one wasn't terrible, but like
we got a comment from Proxima Century who says everyone who has seen the movie referring to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 says it's good, including me. So that's awesome. We've got someone
this person saw it.
Yes, they probably were someone who actually went to CinemaCon.
Oh shoot! Okay.
So and to be fair, the worst I've heard about this film from the people who were at CinemaCon was that it, some of the jokes didn't land, and that it was a bit weird, or that it was kind of like it went on too long. They had too many things shoved in, but those doesn't necessarily mean like that's bad. Like Endgame had a lot of Infinity War had a lot of things rushed in the beginning to get the plot going. Endgame, people say sometimes the middle was a little too long and kind of focused too much on the time travel stuff. So these things aren't inherently bad film. It's just that those are personal choices. Some people, that would be the difference between someone loving it or someone liking it. Or apparently, in your case, love is too strong of a word. You thoroughly enjoyed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not ready to commit to love yet. I've been hurt too much in the past, bro.
But you haven't, though.
I have, though.
Just the one time.
I trusted Thor: Love and Thunder, man. And I will never, ever let that go, man. Thor Ragnarok was just it was such a tease, man. I was going in expecting that, and then it just let me down. It just Ant-Man didn't really do anything for me.
Okay, to be fair, Ant-Man, I feel that there was a lot of things that were kind of, that movie could have been better. They had a lot of good ideas that they scrapped in the sake of for some reason trying to do something different. It could have been really well done, and it wasn't. But it wasn't a bad film. It just wasn't a good one.
Yeah,
that
seems to be the common narrative going forward with a lot of these Marvel movies now.
Not Marvel movies, Marvel TV series.
Well, I'm just hearing in general Marvel. It's it's not good. It's not bad. It's just kind of in the middle, and that's kind of my main concern with any upcoming projects when it comes to the Marvel side of things.
Wakanda Forever got some criticism for being overstuffed, but people still found it to be a very enjoyable film.
Yeah, no, I agree.
This one, it sounds like it's something similar because it's kind of like doing what you're saying. I think this one, I've never heard this much positive reviews for a third film, given the three film, the trilogy thing that you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this one actually broke the mold because I actually didn't really enjoy the second Guardians of the Galaxy.
I enjoyed it, just not as much as I did the first one. I remember watching the first one a lot. I've only seen the second one maybe twice.
I would say the same for myself. I have no real desire to rewatch it. I enjoy watching scenes from it, but like not from actually watching the full film. I would actually I am actually very interested to see Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And this makes me like the reviews I've seen, and also from Proxima Century, this does actually, like, I am excited to see it.
Like for me, I'm waiting for those movies that like really either like the reviews blow me away, or it gets me excited to like rush out and go. Like I don't care what exam I have come mid-June, like I'm rushing to go see The Flash. I don't have that same urgency for the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 yet.
So Chris Tari wrote in the comments, the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special was pretty great too. I've heard nothing but great things about the holiday special. I haven't seen it though.
Was it though? I saw it. I mean, it's all right. I mean,
I think you've been clouded by the Lord of Thunder.
Yeah, maybe,
the God of Thunder has clouded everything.
Yeah,
man. It's like the dark side taking over your soul.
Endgame fucked it up for me, man. It like Endgame and then No Way Home. Like, I feel like you can't come any less than that for me. Like,
and also that guy who's like serving you at Wakanda Forever ruined the emotional beginning of that film.
Yeah, that was a bad move. That was a bad move.
Okay, D. But I'm going to say that I think you should actually properly re-examine Phase 4 without the movie, without the TV series. Just look at the movies, because the movies,
bro. I have been looking at the movies. I'm just saying, man. I like. Yeah, let's just move on, bro. Let's.
Right. Okay. This is trauma response. We're here for you. Proxima Century, Chris Tari, and I are here for you. We support you, T. It's going to be okay. Phase 5 will treat you better.
You know what, man. I'm not saying I'm not gonna watch it. I'm gonna wait until you and Darcy watch it and then like talk about it, and then I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna watch it. Just the urgency hasn't hit me yet.
You know what that kind of reminds me of? It's like Terry Crews from Brooklyn. It's like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's like just give me some space, man. Let a brother breathe.
Let a brother breathe.
Okay. All right. So moving on to our final topic, kind of in line with what we've been discussing a little bit before. Now, we have been noticing, at least especially this last year, or like I would say the last 2 years, there has been a steadily and increasingly large divide between critics, movie critics, and audience members. I would say by observing the Rotten Tomatoes and seeing the critic score and the audience scores, allows one to really be able to see it like in a little bit more clear fashion. And I remember specific ones from the past that we've also discussed on our podcast. Things like Black Adam, which had like abysmal critics, which I agreed with. And then there were like the audience members who really enjoyed it, like the rest of you guys. I will never forgive you for that crap, by the way.
I'll never forgive you for Thor.
I didn't like Thor.
I feel like you did though. You've been defending Phase 4 this whole time, bro. And Phase 4 sounds a lot like Thor, so I'm just grouping you in there.
I was more upset with Thor than you were. You didn't read the source material.
I don't think you could be more upset than I am, bro. That was the worst movie-going experience for me. And I've had some bad ones. But anyway, look at me. I'm trembling now, bro. Just thinking about that. PTSD up in this bitch, bro. Oh man.
Okay. So
all I'm saying
Black
is
Adam...
Extraction 2 better be good, man. Extraction 2 better be good. He owes me.
The man is suffering.
Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. Well, it's not cool.
So no, it's not cool. But like, okay, so aside from Black Adam, we also had Star Wars movies have been pretty like different in terms of audience scores. Oh, The Gray Man. The Gray Man, like the critics hated it, but the audiences loved it.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, and I actually found myself really enjoying The Gray Man, but nonetheless. So I will say the absolute, like at present, the absolute starkest divide between audience and critics has been the Super Mario Brothers movie. Actually, no, that may not be the starkest. I think I heard something that was even worse. But for now, like when we made up this agenda, that was the starkest, because that one has 50%, or sorry, I think that's changed. Sorry, 58% on Rotten Tomatoes for critics, and 96% from audience scores. So that's a pretty big difference. So I haven't seen Super Mario Brothers yet, but our boy T has.
Mm-hmm.
And T, I kind of want to get your review on Super Mario Brothers and why you believe critics and audiences are so divided on this.
Well, let's see. So I enjoyed it. I'm one of many people who grew up playing the video games. I mean, I owned a Nintendo, so I played the original Mario, and then Super Nintendo, played Super Mario World, Super Mario 3, and then got N64, played all of the games there, Mario Kart, all that stuff, Mario Party. So this was a big part of Mario was a big part of my childhood. So to go back and to watch this and to see a lot of the Easter eggs was enjoyable for me. It's a good film. I had a good time watching it, and it's super short. It's like 90 minutes, right? So it's not a long movie. I feel like any longer, and it my rating might have gone down a little bit. I felt like it was the adequate length of time given the story, which, let's be honest, there wasn't much of a story. But again, given the property, what story can you really extrapolate from a Super Mario property, right? I mean, all the games have pretty much been the same. You're rescuing Peach, right? But in this case, he's rescuing Luigi. So yeah, I enjoyed it. In terms of the divide, I'll be honest, like it's probably not going to be for everyone, especially those who didn't watch or those who didn't play the game or didn't grow up playing the game or aren't much of gamers and they don't understand a lot of the nostalgia and the Easter eggs that were or the fan service that was given throughout the film. You're probably not going to resonate with this, and at that point, it's just a bunch of frivolous nonsense that you're watching at that point, right? But I realized that like the reason why I feel like this movie did so well is because Mario is so universal. Like, I mean, I was just training Matt, one of my best friend's sisters, and she has two kids. She has a son and a daughter, and the daughter I think is like she's like 5 years old or something like that. And there's a scene in the movie where Bowser, he's playing the piano, and of course Bowser is played by Jack Black, who is also he's an actor as well as a musician, and he's playing the piano and he has this song, and it's a pretty catchy song, but Christina, she was saying that her daughter after the end of the movie had only seen it once, and at the end of the movie, she just kept singing the song like peaches, 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 peaches. Like it just caught on, and like she really had a great time. And this is kind of what this film is all about. It's catering to those who grew up with the video game, but also catering to the younger audience that probably are familiar with Super Mario, but or even if they're not, it's a good introduction because after this movie comes out, there's going to be toys, there's going to be more video games, there's going to be all kinds of merchandise that are going to cater to the younger audience, and that's the beauty of these films. And I think when done right, and we've seen the same case happen with Sonic, although I think Super Mario has probably surpassed Sonic in terms of the numbers.
Absolutely,
because Super Mario kind of kept it completely 100% animated, so it I think it resonated more with kids versus when you had Sonic and it was like a mix of the CGI and then also the obviously live action because they had live actors in the movie. So there's going to be a little bit of divide there, but ultimately I think you either are going in as a fan or you're going in not knowing what the fuck you're getting into, but you're taking your kids to the movies for the experience. So I think that's where the divide is. It's not going to be for everyone. It's catering to a specific audience, fans of the property and little kids that are going to resonate with the humor and the outrageousness of it all. So
what would you rate the movie out of 10?
I mean, I gave it a 7, but a lot of that is it was really predicated on the nostalgia because I was familiar with a lot of the Easter eggs. I haven't played any of the newer games, but like they had obviously they had Donkey Kong, they had the go-karts, they had
Mario Kart.
They had the Mario Kart, they had the stages, they had like a training course or a obstacle course that Mario had to go through that was very reminiscent of like the Nintendo, like the original Mario game, which is really cool. And then they had like the Super Mario power up. They had some of the uniforms where like when you like hit the block and then you get like the costume or whatever, which was pretty cool. So I enjoyed that. And then they had like different theme songs and stuff like that, like you know, like all of that stuff that you're familiar with if you've played the game. So that was cool. So it brought me back to my childhood. And sometimes as an adult, you appreciate that because it makes you feel like a little kid again in a way, or like it brings you back to that time when like life was easy. You had no care in the world. You had school and then you came home and you had to blow on the cartridge, put it in, and then play for a couple of hours, right? So it was cool. I again, there's not much of a story here. It's basically like Mario and Luigi. They're plumbers. They're trying
so it's
to
not like a Pixar film in terms of like story and
no, there's not like it's not like Pixar where there's like a deep hidden message at the end of it where like adults can like even if you're an adult and you're taking your kids, like you know how like some Pixar like they have like underlining messages for the adults. They cater mostly to the kids, but they have an underlining message for the adults to take away with. This didn't. I feel like this is where this movie kind of lacked. Okay. In that there wasn't much. There wasn't much catering towards an adult in terms of like the messaging or anything like that. It was a very generic storyline, very much like the game where you're on a rescue mission the entire time, and then there's like hilarity that ensues in between. But other than that, there wasn't much depth, I would say.
So then, would you say that with our trend of adapting games, would you say this adds to the positive game adaptions, or is this going backwards and being part of the bad?
No, I would say that this is definitely a step in the right direction. I feel like they've finally figured out the formula. They know what they know what they know what the storyline is. They know what they're trying to do. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel. They're basically, I mean, I think if there was more of a story, it would have been, I think my rating would have been higher, but for the most part, it gave me what I expected. I wasn't expecting much other than just a bunch of nostalgia and a good time. And I laughed. The characters were enjoyable. They handle the accent really well. Like there's an explanation for why Mario doesn't have the accent. Which I guess for spoiler. So basically Mario and Luigi, they have a plumbing business. They were originally working with under a different company, but they left and tried to start their own thing. So they create this commercial, and in the commercial they put on the accent, right? There's like, it's a Mario, like, and they do that whole thing. And then they're like, it's from the perspective of them watching the commercial, and then Luigi's like, hey, this was actually a really good commercial, but do you think the accent was a little too much? And he's like, no, I think it's fine. And then they kind of just talk in their regular voices, but all of their, like, so you get to see Mario and Luigi's actual family. So they have
Right.
their mother and father, and I think their uncle or whatever. So they talk in the accent. They talk in the authentic Italian accent. But like, I guess because Mario and Luigi were like born in New York, they have more.
Right.
They have more of like a New York or a Brooklyn accent or whatever. So yeah, the way they handled that was I felt was really clever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess we'll continue to see how these not just how the films do, because like the Marvel films, I would say that they don't have as much of a stark divide, but they do, like, they definitely have like a growing divide. DC has had a very like this. Sony with Morbius, like, for example, and Carnage, like Carnage, like, sorry, not Carnage, Venom I've hated Venom, and so have the critics. But like, audience are like, give me more of that shit, and I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, I agree. Again, I don't like this branching off of villains from the original property, right? Like, I mean, I've always said on this show, like, I like it when villains steal the show. I don't like it when they become the show.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And The Dark Knight is a great representation of a villain stealing the show as opposed to being the show. This is why I wasn't crazy about the Joker or Joker.
Also, yeah, but also another example, a good
the movie, by the way, not Joker and The Dark Knight.
The Joaquin Phoenix one. Yeah, I hear you. But like, I would say that Black Panther and Avengers Infinity War and the first Thor movie and the first Avengers movie, those are all like examples of when the villains stole the show.
Yeah, and that's great, because at the end of the day, when we watch these superhero movies, we obviously are rooting for the good guy, and we want the good guy to thrive and ultimately win. But what makes a villain so compelling is the amount of adversity and contention that he provides for the hero to overcome. You know what I mean? Like, we want our hero to struggle, because in a way we resonate with that struggle in our everyday lives and the adversity that we face in the real world, kind of thing, right? It kind of gives us this false hope, like this hope of like, oh, like I'm a hero in my own world and I can overcome anything. You know what I mean? So we want that struggle kind of thing, right? Like, and we gravitate to those compelling villains that can give you that, right? But I don't want to see a villain story and be rooting for the villain the entire time, because now I'm conflicted, because I'm like, shit, well, I want to understand you, but at the end of the day, I want to be like, well, but you're wrong in your approach, but I get you. I don't want to be rooting for you the entire time, because then it's like, well, just
yeah. So we're gonna end on that topic right here. I just wanted to throw one last piece of news to our boy Tactix, mostly to see his reaction. So we all know that we watched the Dune movie together, and the Tactix wasn't a huge fan of it. However, with the upcoming sequel coming out that was released, I'm just here to tell you, T, that the movie is being described as basically 90% sci-fi action war film.
Interesting.
They said Denis Villeneuve have said himself, if the first movie was set up, the second movie is where the action is.
Bro, that whole movie felt like set up, man. Like, I was like I was into some of it, but like I feel like I fell asleep at like at certain parts, because I was just like, man, like, just can you kind of just get to like the good shit already? Like, what are we setting up here? I don't understand anything that's going on right now. Like, if someone were to ask me, like, what is Dune about, I'd be like, please do not ask me. Like, don't quiz me on this shit at all, because this is not my wheelhouse. I don't know what the fuck I watched. Like, honestly, like, I'm sorry. I know there's like good shit in there. Like, I know it's like it's well revered as being like a really great sci-fi flick, but yeah, man, that, like, if you're not a person who loves space, like someone I know,
there wasn't that much space though.
Man, I don't know, man. It took me a minute, and then when it started getting good, it was like, end. I
Well,
was like,
so- okay.
wait, what the? I was like, yeah. I was
Okay. I will say that, like, based on everything you said about the first film back when it first started, and also everything I'm learning about this one you are actually going to like.
You said that about this film.
I thought you would have connected with the spirituality and like the predeterminism aspect, but you're just like,
You
cool.
talking about when he puts his hand in the box?
Well, that you did like that, but
I did, but I had to ask you, what was it like? What does that mean? I didn't know. I was like, wait, what's happening to his hand right now? Is it like what's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? I didn't know. He was just screaming his ass off, and his hand was in the box, but there's no blood. There's nothing. I'm like,
oh,
I don't get it.
Again, I think for this one you just need more action because you don't enjoy the predeterminism that's like so laced in with the politics.
Yeah, don't give me a movie about politics, man. That's where you lose me. Like Civil War. Sorry. Civil War gave me like the right amount, like, and it wasn't even that much. It was just like, yeah, okay.
There was a lot of politics.
There was, but it was like it was glossed over by the action. It was like politics, and then bop, bop, bop. Like you're just like you're in it, bro.
Based off that, what you just said right there, politics mixed in with bop, bop, bop. That is essentially.
I want more bop, though. I want more bop than I want.
You will get more bop. And like 90% is an action war sci-fi movie.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Wait. Okay. But before we wrap up, since we're dropping like stuff that like new shit on the timeline, what's your opinion on this thing?
So this is actually something that has caught me off guard because based off what people have been saying about, for those of you who are listening to us, Tactix has put up pictures of Aaron Taylor Johnson as his depiction of Kraven, and from the descriptions from CinemaCon, based off this, people have been surprisingly surprisingly impressed with what they've seen. They said apparently a trailer was shown to them where it shows that he is the way Sony is depicting this film is that Kraven is this rich asshole who loves to hunt, and it's a rated R film where apparently in the trailer he rips off a guy's nose with his teeth and spits it at the camera.
Damn.
And it's just that he loves to hunt, and he has transitioned from hunting animals to hunting people because he has to escalate because he keeps mastering his hunting.
Okay, that's kind of tight.
Yeah, the fact that they went there caught me off guard. At the same time, this is Sony. They have had a pretty bad track record.
Yes, they have.
And I don't care what anyone says. I don't care the fact that it's getting its third movie. Venom and Venom 2 and Morbius are all a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, I agree.
So this movie has a lot more to do aside from giving me a relatively decent trailer and making it rated R. This movie has a lot to do to get me to like it.
Yeah, because I almost want to say, but it's Aaron Taylor Johnson, like, but then, dude, what's this guy? I'm blanking on his name now. Who plays Eddie Brock? What's his name again?
Oh, Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy, yeah, phenomenal actor, but just, Venom just wasn't it. It just, and I don't know if changing the rating to R would have saved that movie.
No. Absolutely not. Okay. This is interesting. Okay. So I've just found out that the director for Kraven the movie is the same guy who did A Margin Call, All Is Lost, which was, and also A Most Violent Year, and Triple Frontier. So those aren't exactly bad films. Actually, a lot of them are pretty decent to borderline good films. But the writers for it did Equalizer and Expendables.
Huh.
and Punisher Warzone, and the first Iron Man movie, and Uncharted, and Men in Black International, and Transformers: The Last Night. So like,
Okay, you lost me.
yeah, the writers are all over the place, but the director is actually pretty on point. So still, this movie has a lot to do before I even start getting excited.
I'll be honest, I was never really a big fan of Kraven in the animated show to begin with.
He was better in the comics because like this is a guy who tracked down Spider-Man, buried him alive, and then like took over his duties as Spider-Man, and then was so upset that he had defeated his ultimate, like he had essentially achieved his ultimate prey, that he killed himself before Peter could get to him.
What? Really?
Yes. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like the Kraven storyline is actually really dark and dope.
Well, I feel like if they follow along that could be a very interesting storyline on its own.
Yeah.
I'd actually be like, if this was coming around, like if let's say that Venom wasn't out and they were planning on making a Venom and a Kraven at the same time, and you had just told me that, I'd probably be more excited for Kraven than I would Venom, because with Kraven I could probably get behind not having a Spider-Man in the film, but with Venom, I'm like, there is no Venom without Spider-Man. Like I feel like they need to be there together.
Yeah.
And same with Carnage. Like that, like Matt, like I remember playing the game Maximum Carnage, bro. Like I was like, that's what I was waiting for. And they never gave it to me. So yeah, it was kind of disappointing. But this, I don't know. After you just said that, I could see myself. This has piqued my interest.
Honestly, I would prefer if they did this Kraven against Andrew Garfield, not with Tom Holland.
Is that the plan, or?
I don't know. Sony's not really being very clear, I don't think Sony even has a plan. But if they do this with Andrew Garfield with his darker version after Gwen's death, it actually can go along very well. That by the time he actually gets to by the time like he gets himself, like, because you can see Andrew Garfield doing a very emotional scene where he's like punching his way out of being buried alive, and then when he finally gets to Kraven, he jumps off the cliff before he can even save him.
What if they did the black suit?
He actually was in the black suit. It wasn't like the symbiote, but it was actually him in a black suit, because he chose to go black suit after he got rid of the symbiote.
Oh shit. No, but like, what if that's their way of introducing Venom into this?
That would be interesting.
Oh wait, but is this the same? Wait, because it's all Sony, right?
I don't know.
Oh, but then
like,
yeah, because then technically Spider-Man, like, they'd have to be going backwards, because then that, like, Andrew would have to get the black suit somehow. It would just be backwards, because he originally had the symbiote first and then Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
But then they could do the reverse and have Andrew get the symbiote and then be the black suit, and then because of his, like, him mourning Gwen and whatnot, then he kind of goes on a rampage, and then it's an introduction not an introduction, because he's getting his own movie, but it could be the reason why Kraven wants to hunt this guy. It's hunt Spider-Man now.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like I still find this to be dumb, but we shall see.
Yeah, we shall.
All right, bro. I'm going to volley it back to you for our closing remarks.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to today's show. Once again, we want to thank everyone for always supporting the show, liking, favorite, and subscribing. Unfortunately,
and commenting.
And commenting. Yes, please leave your comments. It helps with the YouTube algorithm, helps us get more noticed. Tell your friends about us, man. Like, spread the word. Like, you know, we need more. We need more comments. We need more views. We need more reasons to get out there and give you guys some of these good opinions that we have. Shout out to our boy Darcy, who couldn't be with us on today's podcast, but he's here in spirit. Not that he's dead, he's just out doing his own thing, but he will be back. Well, we'll all be back together in about maybe 3 weeks.
No, next week.
Well, but you're going away on
But
vacation.
I'll be here for next week, and then after
Right.
that.
Got you. Okay. Well, anyway, I am your boy Tactix.
And this is Big Geek Kumar. Live long and prosper, y'all, and see you all next week. I'm like super white.
Yeah, you're dead white, bro.
I'm like dead white. I'm like vampire white.
Yeah. Stay outside tomorrow.